Okay, good morning, students. In last class, we had seen the important definitions of history and what is history and who is father of history. So, if you recall, if you just go back to the next class video and see, you can see what all we have dealt with. So, next, moving on, we are talking about importance of the study of history. Why it is important to study history as a subject. So, let's start. The study of history gives us an account of evolution of culture of mankind since the ancient time. Okay, so why we should study history is we can know from where mankind has started. Why mankind is important, it started how the evolution started, from where the what to say, civilization started. All of this, if you have to know all of the past things, you have to study history. So history presents an ocean of experience of different people. Hence the study of history has been useful to man in many ways. So it's not just we are talking about in history just about one person or two-person. We are just talking about the humanity, the man race, how it started and how it's been going on, and what are their achievements, what they have done for the other next generation, and all of this. So through studying history, you will know how the man passed, let it be a forefathers, everyone, how they led a life. So now moving on, we have different points why history is important. So the first point is history is a memory of the past events. So when you read the heading only, you can know history is a memory of past events. When you say past events, something which has already happened, let it be, for example, what you are doing today, that becomes tomorrow's history. The same way here, history is a memory, so which we remember. So if it is important, we all remember the important events, dates, right? So in such way, the study of history gives us information about the biographies of great men and record of major events of the world. So it's not just we study about great humans, we also study the important events which happen in the world. For example, now we have television media which shows you every aspect, what is happening all worldwide. Now we have internet. Earlier you used to get news one day, if today's news, tomorrow in morning newspaper used to get. But now because of internet technologies, everything you it comes in your hand and you know what is happening around the world. But during olden times, you didn't have this. So people used to write and keep it for us, what happened, how the great achievements of other peoples, and also on. So it provides us an insight into the process of struggle of mankind. Also we study about the struggle of mankind, his interaction with the environment, his rise and fall. So we talk about his struggle with mankind, his interaction with the environment, because nature was not good as how it is today. There were mountains, there were rivers, there was forests. For example, if you had to build a house, you had to break down the forest, or you have to break down the mountains, and you have to do houses. So it is very tough during that time. So how we had rise in the nature and is false. We will study history. According to Will Durrett, a country's past is like an individual's memory. If memory goes, sanity goes with it. So Durrett says a country's past is like an individual's memory. If memory goes, sanity goes with it. Okay, so what happened? A country's past is like man's individual's memory. So everything, for example, what happens in your country, that past becomes your memory. If memory goes, sanity goes with it. So sanity means behavior, rational behavior. If your memory goes, then your rational behavior also goes with it. The way your society is leading, the way you lead, it will be the same. Hence it is essential for a man to understand his surrounding and the entire world, which will add to his awareness of intellect. Okay, so it is very important to understand the surrounding. It is not easy for you to just stay away from the society. You are in that society, so you have to know what is happening in and around it and around the world. Okay, you have to know about the awareness, and also you have to understand the concept. Gaze and Moon write, as memory is to man, history is to mankind. So what is S and Moon saying? As memory is to man. So memory is for man, history is for mankind. So for one individual is for memory. Your memory you will be keeping, but history is for all mankind. Okay. So history is like a memory where we keep that memory and the whole mankind can use it. So moving on to the next one, history teaches religious tolerance. So history teaches us to how to control the religious aspects. So the religious tolerance between different sects is a must to have peace and understanding in the society. The religious tolerance between different sects is a must to have peace and understanding in the society. So if you have one religion in the society, you will have a equal opportunities. But what happens is here religious tolerance, for example India, like a country like India, and now all over world people of different religions are living. In India you have multi, what's there, a lot of religions. So what happen, you have to, if you have peace, if you have understanding between one and two other religions, it will be equal for the people to understand and to lead a peaceful life in the society. Peace leads to prosperity in the society. So what happened, peace leads to prosperity in the society. If there's peace, you will be successful in the society. Historians have warned us that religious intolerance always hinders the development of any society. So what happened, if you have religious tolerance, always hinders the development of any society. So you have to have religious intolerance so that you can develop, you can achieve in the society. The religious stalwarts like Jesus, Kabir, Guru Nanak, Sufi saints Basaveshwara and Ramakrishna Paramasa have tried to sow the seeds of love and affection in the humanity. So all these people are, so let it be Jesus Christ, let it be Kabir, Guru Nanak, they have all said us, and Basaveshwara, Ramakrishna Paramasa, they didn't say us to just follow one religion and what to say lead that life. They said you follow whatever religion you want, but make sure you have affection towards the other human. So you all are humans, so behave like humans and have affection so that you can have peaceful life and you can have prosperity in life. In doing so, they propagate the concept of religious harmony, so having religious peace in the society. So the knowledge of history is very essential to develop religious tolerance. So the knowledge of history, if you know what is history, how history has led us till today, you can what to say religious tolerance will be there. In the words of the famous British historian Arnold Toynbee, Indian religion's tolerance is the only way for the survival of the mankind. So in India we know we have so many religions. Yes, communal rights comes once or twice, but that is because of the traitors. But then too we have peace, prosperity. Let it be any religion people, we see them as brotherhood. That is what Thornby is saying. Indian religion's tolerance. So it is very important for the survival of mankind. For example, if you start fighting between one religion and other religion, what will happen? Humanity will come to an end. So you have to not fight, have peace, love your brothers, and everyone are brothers to each other. Then next, moving on to the third point, that is history is the source of inspiration. So why history is the source of inspiration, you all think? Because history is something which has been happened, and there are a lot of important kings, queens, achievers who have been achieved. So when you see them, you will be inspired by them. For example, when Dr. Abdul Kalam is no more, but when we read about Dr. Abdul Kalam, when we read about Abdul Kalam's biography, we get inspired. So history also is a source of inspiration. History is like an ocean of human experience. So it's like a ocean. History is not like something like a small pot of water. It is like a ocean of human experience. It records the joys, happiness, sorrow, sadness, great deeds, achievements, contributions. So history is a record of happiness, sadness, what he has achieved, what are his contribution to mankind's, then adventures, thoughts, and sacrifices of extraordinary men. Adventures, then thoughts, sacrifices of the grateful men. Hence, it is a source of inspiration. For instance, the tradition and culture and the ideas of Mahavira, Buddha, Acharya, Shankara, Ramanuja, Madhava, Vivekananda, Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela, the source of inspiration. So these all are the great leaders and great religious reformers who reformed their religions because they knew there is a lot of let us take Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhavacharya. They all were the great religious reformers who thought that there is so many issues within their religion, and they started reforming their religion because they thought that their own community is putting the people down, humanity down. Yes, they are following religion, but there's no human, there's no peace. So they started reforming their own religion. So they become inspiration. And Abraham Lincoln, Vivekananda, Nelson Mandela, all are the source of inspiration from the past. That their teachings and preachings have played an important role in the shaping of the personality of the people. So let it be, we get inspired, no? So everyone will be having one or the other inspiration, right? So the same way they They have shaped us. Then you have Thomas Carlyle says, great personalities are no more, but history and autobiography of such personality are still there. So great personality there, they don't live because you have particular age to die. But history, the records is been there. The autobiography is there. Autobiography is the writing of the people, their life story. Such things are there, we get inspired by them. The next, moving on to the fourth point, history promotes patriotism. So when you say patriotism, national, when you have the nationhood, when you see nation as one. Okay, a study of history is one of the important factors in promoting patriotism. For example, it's been so many years since India got freedom. In 1947, 15th August 1947, India got its freedom. So we all were fighting together. We had unity during that time. Let it be any religion, caste, creed, anything, any politics, but we had what to say, an emotion that yes, we have to be free from the Britishers, and we came all together. We got united and we got freedom for our country. A nation's heritage, such as art, music, literature, religion, philosophy, folklore, and so on, forms the basis of nationalism. So it's not just fighting for the freedom, then you have your religion, literature, culture, philosophy. Then we have the patriotism. For example, you can take the aspect of Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu, which happened. So when they knew that is going, it's when Jallikattu is being, they said it will ban, all people they came to save the culture of the culture of one of the state. They didn't think that yes, we have animal, what to say, yes, animal have been had, but that is one of the culture. They thought that that culture, the heritage should not go away. So they, in the same way, we have religion, philosophy, which make sure that nationality come within us. The knowledge about heritage makes one feel proud. So when we see our, what to say, great leaders who have been fought for us and we have got freedom, we feel proud of it. The researchers done in 19th century in respect of ancient Indian history and culture laid in the strong foundation for Indian nationalism. So we have so many. So how we had that Indian nationalism which come, there are a lot of researchers which they have done and laid the foundation of Indian nationalism. The life and achievements of Shivaji, Kittur Chennamma, Lakshmi Bai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Subhash Chandra Bose, and Mahatma Gandhi ji promote patriotism among us. So when we see the great leaders who have fought for us almost 200-300 years back, and not just 200-300 years but 500 years back, so we just get, what to say, inspired by them, and the national, we don't fight within us, we have that unity. Yeah, for example, when you are in Karnataka and you go to some city, yes, you say you are from Karnataka, but at the same time you move away from India and you go to abroad, your identity there, it becomes as Indian. You say, where are you from? I am from India. So you have that nationality within you. Then the fifth point is, history is a laboratory of social science. History has practical utility as it supplies historical data to the social sciences like economy, sociology, psychology, theology, philosophy, logic, geography, etc. So it is root of all social sciences. In the past, these social sciences were studied as the branches of history. So what happens? History is a laboratory. It is the starting point for other subjects. So it is like a root. For example, when you used to study history, under that one you used to study economics, sociology, psychology as one subject. But now everyone have moved and social science has become one of the stream. So history has become a laboratory of furnishing knowledge for them. Most of the political resolutions of UNO are largely based on the lesson of history. So UNO is United Nations Organization. So they have all the lessons based on history. Thus every social scientist depends the sources of history in expressing his final opinion. So all social scientists, they depend on the history expressing the final opinion. The sixth point is, history influence noble ideals. Modern age has attained excellence in the physical world, not in metaphysical world. So modern age has attained excellence in the physical world, not in the metaphysical world. Means history is something which has happened in real and it is not something which is invisible. That means people are losing respect for values or ethics. In this critical juncture, The values propagated by great men of the past need to be adopted by the modern men. So nowadays modern men, they are losing their, what to say, ethics, everything is losing. So it is said that you learn from your people who were there, the great men, and learn from there and start adapting that. History gives us the details about the noble ideas of Ashoka, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Kanakadasa, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Mother Teresa, etc. So there are so many people who have inspired us. So start get inspired by them. So when you say Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, being from a lower caste, being untouchable, he has fought so much and he got educated with so many struggles. So at the same time, you students should get education is one of the important aspect. Studying history helps us to become good citizens by adopting the noble ideas. So when we see the stories of the great leaders, great achievers, we think that yes, we have to be like them. History contributes the noble ideas like liberty, equality, fraternity. Means liberty, freedom, equality, fraternity. Everything where the three important ideas. Then you have truthfulness, ethics. Say truth, have a good ethics. No non-violence. Don't hit anyone. No non-violence at all. Service to others. Love and affection, forgiveness, kindness. The best political policy, religious tolerance. So history is something which